Happy Monday, everyone. This is Martha with Nature Niche, and I'm here with Matthew Lindauer, the Central Michigan CISMA Coordinator, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about how to get involved with our local CISMA.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Fantastic. Thanks for having me. So a great starting point is actually what is a CISMA? The acronym itself, CISMA, Cooperative Invasive Species Management Area. So one of the nice things about CISMAs is that if you do want assistance, information with invasive species, that's what we do. And there's total coverage in the state of Michigan right now, 22 different CISMAs. So if you're seeing this from somewhere outside of our 5 counties in the Central Michigan region, there's still a CISMA that can help you out. But if you are in Clare, Gladwin, Gratiot, Isabella, or Midland counties, I'm your go-to person for invasive species questions. So
nice.
Yeah, just a good jumping off point.
Yeah.
And one of the ways that you can get involved with certainly our CISMA and probably your local CISMA as well, ask them, look into it, is our annual meeting. So ours is coming up Wednesday, May 7th at 11 a.m. That's going to be at the Grace A. Dow Memorial Library Auditorium. And that will be really exciting. We try once a year to open things up to the public, provide lunch for folks to come in and learn about what the CISMA has been doing over the last year, things that we've got coming up for the next year, and then incorporate a little bit of education with all of that. So actually this year we have a really exciting kind of agenda for this meeting. It should be really fun. We're going to talk about what we've been up to, what we've got going on. And I'm going to be walking through kind of some 101 level herbicide know-how.
That's great.
Yeah, it's coming
Very
up on
needed.
spring. We got, invasive species are starting to pop up. Now's actually a really good time to keep your eyes out for garlic mustard because that is up and at 'em already. But unfortunately, one of the ways that we have to tackle invasive species oftentimes is through the use of herbicide. So, and the more you know, the more strategic you can be, the less of that herbicide you will have to use, which is the good news. It can be a little intimidating at times because people go, I don't want to totally cook my lawn. I don't know what's legal or not legal. And I don't even know what the starting point is, what equipment to use. So we want to talk about that so that folks can be a little bit more comfortable using those materials safely and properly. So we're going to spend some time talking about that, Herbicide 101. And we have a really exciting virtual guest speaker from one of the CISMAs in Florida. So Florida, is another state that has CISMA coverage. And they are, unfortunately for them, dealing with things that are, I'll say, a bit more exciting than what we're dealing with here.
Life-threatening.
Yeah, exactly. They have some of the pythons, the large snakes down there in the Everglades, and a handful of other reptiles that they're dealing with. But I know the pythons are kind of the ones that really kind of raise some eyebrows. So they're going to talk about what they're doing, dealing with that, kind of a day in the life of what invasives look like in Florida as opposed to here. So with the different climate, you get different species that are showing up. So I thought that'd be interesting for folks to hear about. So
yeah, I think a lot of humans move between Michigan and Florida, so that's a good perspective to have.
You're heading down
We think
there.
if we're like autumn olive, really downtrodden about something, just think of having to deal with pythons.
Exactly. Yeah. Spotted lanternfly. We talk a lot about that, and that's scary in its own right. But not the physical threat that maybe a large constrictor snake is. So should be pretty exciting and interesting to hear a little bit about that. So those are the 2 big items on the agenda. So herbicides and then kind of what invasives are looking like down in Florida, just to shake things up a little bit. We talk a lot about autumn olive and buckthorn, but folks that have been to 1 or 2 of these talks,
get a broader perspective.
Exactly. Because invasive species they're everywhere. They're not just here, but depending on where you're at, they look a little bit different. So some different perspective.
Nice.
So,
and how do folks attend? What do you need them to do?
Yeah, fantastic question. Because we are providing, it's a free event, and we're providing food for people that attend. An accurate head count is super important for us so that nobody goes hungry or we don't aggressively over order. So there is a QR code on this flyer. We've posted this to our social media pages. You can also go to our website, cmcisma.org, and there's a banner on the home screen right now that if you click it, it'll take you to the same page. It's a Facebook page, and you can RSVP through there, so we know on whether or not you'll be in attendance. So we really hope that you do decide to attend. Being that it is springtime and things are starting to green up and bloom, we're actually going to be in the auditorium at the library, which is right next to Dow Gardens. So if you haven't gotten enough plant talk, you can walk right next door and, and head in there if you're so inclined. Yeah, continue the whole outdoor theme. So could make for a really fun day for folks. We're hoping that people show up. Again, just a great way to get involved with your CISMA, learn kind of how you can help improve native landscapes and what invasives to keep an eye out for. So.
Excellent. And you mentioned some of the CISMAs are tightly, what do I want to say, have good relationships with folks doing native plants sales and planting in addition to invasive species management?
Definitely. Okay. So a lot of CISMAs are actually headquartered out of conservation districts. Yes. Conservation districts right now all throughout the state are participating in their local plant sales, kind of a good way to raise funds for them and a great way for landowners to incorporate more natives into their landscapes. So that's another great thing to keep an eye out that's happening right now all throughout the state.
Yeah.
Again, even if you're not in these 5 counties, check out what's happening locally, and they probably have something for you. Yeah, great point. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Hosting one myself, so top of the mind, getting ready for native plant sales.
Exactly.
Well, hopefully folks can find their local CISMA. Perhaps if you're local to us, attend the Central Michigan annual meeting and get some good invasive species management and native planting done this growing season.
Yeah, exactly. May 7th, 11 a.m. at the Grace A. Dow Memorial Library in Midland. So we hope to see you there.
Take care. Have a good week.